Hi, Ben. Welcome
Hi.
to Social 101.
Hi, guy.
This is our Social 101 episode 6, recruiting and social media, and we have Ben Yim here. He's a Blue Diamond in Vancouver, right?
Yes,
It's Vancouver. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so Ben, tell us a little bit about your story. You've done most of your recruiting just through social media, right?
that's right. Right. So I started a little bit about myself. I actually was in the banking industry for 6 years. I got introduced to New Skin through a friend through products as well. But when I first know about New Skin, there's hardly any guys around my age who are doing it. So I was like thinking, how can we actually do it? Like it's very different, I guess, a girl compared to a guy. So I had to reach out to strangers. But right now is the most convenient time to do stranger market is because there's so much social media, so much platform like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. There's so many. Yeah.
So you do. Tell me how you would recruit on Snapchat.
Snapchat is more of like a present thing where when they find you on social media and they see, oh, I'm interested in New Skin or I'm curious about New Skin. So they will always ask like, so what do you do as a full-time New Skin? Because they can't imagine doing New Skin full-time. A lot of people is like, what do you do? There's no timetable, there's no like store you go to. So it's more of a lifestyle that they're wondering, oh, so what does New Skin full-time entrepreneur look like? So Snapchat is easier for them to kind of take a peek in my life. So I always keep them posted, post stuff, and then kind of post a little bit um, when I'm in meetings or with clients or testing products with new clients. So just my life, pretty much like a lifestyle kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they'll be pretty surprised because they'll be like, oh, like that's what you do. And most of the times that lifestyle intrigues them and kind of get them thinking, oh, I want that too, or I don't mind having that on the side. So that just stirs up a lot of interest in people.
And so they'll chat with you after you post something, and then do you move it to a different channel? Do you move it to text message? I mean, how do you then continue? Because Snapchat, it's not permanent, right? It goes
Right.
away. So you start that chat thread, but then do you move it somewhere more permanent, or do you just keep it there?
It really depends on that person. Like, if we're engaging in a conversation, I usually tell them, "Oh, why don't you add me on like um, other platforms?" So I use WhatsApp or WeChat, Line, like a lot of like free instant messaging things that you can have on your phone. Because a lot of clients and maybe recruitments are not local, so I can't expect them to text me, right? So
Right.
some like the furthest one I had was in Africa, which is pretty crazy. Africa, Mexico, Japan, and Taiwan. Those are the ones that I was like, oh, hi guys. But like it's very interesting because social media you can never control where people are coming from. But that's the interesting part because New Skin is about global, and we can use this platform to actually utilize the global platform of New Skin and social media.
I love that. So you just then direct them to a messaging social like
Right.
WeChat, Line, and whichever one they're comfortable with. So you just have groups in those where you answer questions and support at that
Right.
point, or just
Right.
single one on one, or however that
It
works.
really depends. So most of the time, when they reach out, they would want to see, oh, who you are. They just want to know more. Usually is about the business side for me, particularly because I do more on the recruitment side, on the business side. So they ask me questions over whatever, maybe Facebook, Instagram, direct message, or whatever it is. They ask simple questions. Once they get into like more complicated, I move them into a different platform or different app. And then we start chatting. And then once, because apps are easier to send pictures, and like with our new app that we've developed, it's very good. We just send links to them and you can sign up through via the app, right? So the new app is amazing because it makes the whole process online a way lot easier and just more convenient for both parties. And through that, like you slowly open groups because they'll be like, oh, I have another friend or I have another recruitment who is interested on my end. Then you have small groups or even individuals where, oh, I have product problems or clients that have problems. So they will just ask via the app or via the messaging system.
Oh, that's perfect. And so that's the social sharing app that you use?
Right.
And you'll just send them something based on what you've already been talking about. You've already got a relationship with them. And then that's to close the deal, basically. You don't start with the social sharing app. That's more once you've already got them intrigued and you've talked to them, then you're sending them that
Right.
kind of, hey, here's a product you want to buy, or here's how you sign up.
Yeah. So like the just a little link is so much easier, or even like the info thumbnails that we have now, that we just sent them and they can click instead of getting them to the browsing the whole website, right? You isolate one thing and just send them one thing, which makes the whole process easier for the user. And
yeah, I love that. And then once you have them and they've signed up, then I'm assuming you continue supporting them through social media because that's where the majority of your relationship started and continues, right? And you work with your team on social media at that point.
And it's very interesting on social media because sometimes you work with them for such a long period of time, but you haven't really met them in person. Like you probably Skype like this and like WeChat, like just something on your phone, but it's different where it's like, oh, you never see them. But in the past, in our team, we've met them only through success trips. So that's a very nice way to meet your group members is getting them qualify to the regional success trip, and then we meet there. And then actually seeing them there is kind of like, oh, I'm familiar with you already, but I've never seen you in person. So it's a very neat like experience because I've traveled between Vancouver and Toronto, and I don't know anyone in Toronto, but one of my newest Blue Diamonds are from Toronto. So how I found them was they found me through a blog like Twitter. So and then they've actually keep reading my stuff for a year. So you guys have to keep in mind social media is not like magic. Like it's fast, but it's not magic. You have to be consistent and you have to keep on doing it like day in and day out because people actually follow you. They might not like your stuff, they might not follow you or whatever, but like this particular downline have been reading my stuff for a year before he initially messaged me. And then from there we spun out to like products and then to business, and then finally he became a Ruby, and then he flipped another Blue Diamond under him. So the whole process is a journey. But mind you, a lot of people ask me, oh, how do I do it? Like I'm like, you need to be consistent, no matter what platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. You have to be consistent. If like think about it, if you have a favorite coffee shop and if you go there and it's like, oh, it's closed, but like it's kind of like the same with social media. Like if I want to follow you, I want to see you almost every day or at least once a week, right?
Yeah.
So for that particular case, it was very interesting because I never thought of coming to Toronto and knowing no one, but through social media, I could bring my business to another city, which is a very nice experience, I think.
Well, and I love that you said, he was following you, but he wasn't necessarily interacting with you. So you didn't even realize that you were building a relationship with somebody for a whole year. And then whatever it was, something triggered him to finally interact with you,
right.
Whatever that piece was, right? And then he already had so much background on you. It wasn't like you were having to introduce what you did. That's a very interesting phenomenon that social media creates, where he knows all about you, but you don't even know who this person is at this point.
It's kind of scary.
What you do, but it's powerful.
It is because you don't have to explain yourself anymore. With social media so open nowadays, like Facebook, Twitter, anything, you have to be pretty open. Like there's no hiding of anything. And the good thing about Nu Skin is we're publicly traded too. So every information that we spread, we talk about is online and is publicly posted. So I think in that sense, it gives a lot of security to new people or people who are interested versus other network marketing company. Because when we talk about direct sell, there's a stigma to it, right? There's
Yeah.
always like, oh, don't talk to me kind of thing. But in the end, like, because I'm all on social media and our company is public traded, everything is open and just on the table. So there's no hidden fee or like whatsoever kind of thing. So when they approach you, they're like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to move.
Yeah.
Teach me how to move, right? Instead of, oh, I just want to check it out. I just want to listen. It's a whole different ball game, but mind you, it takes time. Like, I'm not saying it's magic. Like, this is something that you guys have to remember is not magic. You have to be consistent. Like, imagine someone reading your stuff without following you for years. So they're technically creeping on you, but you can't blame them. I mean, if you're serious about a business, you want to check it out. You want to understand them, who your partner is, and you can't blame them for understanding you for a whole year, seeing if you're consistent, seeing you're actually someone that they want to be with, right? A positive, influencing leader instead of like some average Joe just bumming around. So whatever you portray on social media is important too, because they are going to connect with you. They're going to be a team member with you. And I always say to my team members, we're like a family because, I mean, if we're continuing this business on, it could be 5, 10, 20 years, right? So you can't blame them for creeping up on you
Yeah.
for a whole year. It's just something that they need to do to affirm themselves. I have the right leader. I have the right partner.
Yeah, and they watched you do the same business for a year and realize the legitimacy of it too, because I'm sure that the way that you learn and talk about New Skin throughout a year in the business, from starting it to becoming Blue Diamond, you know, your passion will change and they'll see your lifestyle start to change, that you're traveling more. They're going to see you go on a success trip. You know, they're going to experience a lot of that with you, especially over a long period of time. If you're consistent and you're talking about, again, you're not talking the business, you're talking about you and the business in your life, right?
Right.
And the products in your life. And it's just those true interactions and the daily pieces, like you said, kind of a Snapchat. It's just, here's what I do. This is just who I am. And there's a lot of power to that people didn't have before, where if you went up and you said, oh yeah, I do New Skin, but they haven't really seen what I do New Skin means.
Right. And I think people are really skeptical. And like I said before, the industry or just joining something is very hard. From even for myself, I went from a 9 to 5 to entrepreneur to New Skin. That scared me, but I want to know what I'm getting into, right? So if I'm able to take a peek at someone who's actually doing it for a long time, like 2 or 3 years, how their life is running, I can imagine like, oh, I can change my life into that too, right? So like even for students, moms, or like 9 to 5 people, they want to say, oh, I don't mind doing this part time, so I can have this kind of lifestyle or part of that lifestyle in the future. So the Snapchat or Instagram or whatever you're doing, YouTube, like it just gives them a glimpse of hope or a lifestyle that they would want.
I love it. Any other parting thoughts on what you love the most about social, or you know, your one piece of advice that you give your team about social? I feel like we've covered some awesome stuff on how to be you and how to recruit in social, but other kind of thoughts you have?
Be real. Like you have to be you, or else if you're portraying an image online and then when they meet you or start working with you and you don't have that trait or kind of lifestyle, then it's kind of a lie too. So be you. That's the most important thing, because that's the whole point of social media. They want to know you and not someone who they made up.
Yeah, and you're going to meet them eventually if
Yeah.
if it really is going to be someone who's going to join your team or your business. So, yeah, you need to be posting your life and your experiences, and they need to get to know you, not just you posting a picture of products, but get to know you, right? So that it's not more awkward on that success trip when you first meet than it has to be.
And it's funny too, like I always make fun of myself. I'm like, it's hard for me to like do a selfie with a spa machine itself versus a girl doing it, right? But they that stirs up curiosity as well because they're like, how can you, a guy, do this business for 4 years and still make it? I'm like, well, it's social media, and that's the new way to go. I mean, every industry is leveraging social media,
Yeah.
and we could too,
And it's okay for guys to use the spa.
right? Brad Pitt used it too, so why not?
You're okay. It's good to look good.
That's good, yeah.
And have perfect skin. Look at you, have no wrinkles. Perfect. Okay, anything else? If not, I think that we have given some great training and advice to people on how to be real and to recruit through social, and then how to kind of transition all those different channels using, our own tools and really getting people and building relationships.
Right.
I feel like building relationships and being yourself is always, that's kind of what I've taken from this. That's just so key.
That's great.
Stuff. Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.